Okay guys, thought I would show you how to rescreen a storm window screen. This is an aluminum screen, and as you can see, it's not in the best shape. I mean, there are no holes in it or anything, but the discoloration I don't like. I don't really like aluminum screen wire anyway, but since the storm window beside it has aluminum screen wire in the screen, I'm going to go back with it. I prefer fiberglass, but I happen to have 24-inch roll of aluminum screen wire, so that's what we're going to be using here. So I would show you also the tools that I use for rescreening. Show you just very quickly. There's a carpet knife. Here's a couple of spring clamps. Tape measure, obviously. This is my rescreening supply box. Just show you what I have in that. A couple of, well, actually 3 rollers. A couple of, this is a newer wood roller. That's an older one. This is a plastic. I like this wood roller best. It's a little more sturdy, I guess. But it's got a concave roller and it's got a convex roller. You can pick these up at Home Supply, Lowe's, Home Depot, local hardware store, whatever. I also have a supply of different diameter spline in gray and black. So I just keep different diameter spline, color and lengths on hand because I never know what I'm going to need. So I think I'm going to reuse the spline that is in this screen. Again, the only reason I'm doing it is for aesthetic reasons, because there are no holes, no tears in it. I just don't like the corrosion that aluminum screening gets after a while. And that is the only reason I'm doing anything with this one. So let me put my box under here for a second and get it out of the way. Got a smaller work surface today because of the sunshine. So all you do essentially, and I'll show you, is there's a little spline that fits in a groove that actually holds the screen in place. So all you have to do is take that out, and that end came right out. So pull it out. Get my screening tool here. You can use an awl, you can use a screwdriver. I'm using a screw. Just pick the corner to pull it out. All 4 of them. The basic process of rescreening is the same no matter what. If you're using the old-fashioned storm windows or whether you're using vinyl windows, it doesn't matter. So after you take the spline out, you see all you have to do is just take the screen wire out. And as you can see, there's just some discoloration in it. I don't like it that way. No holes in it. It's a perfectly good screen other than how it looks. So I just toss it. You can also take your new screen and fit it over. Get an idea of the overall size that you'll need, and then just cut a length. And again, it doesn't matter if it isn't square, because you're going to be trimming it anyway after you get the spline back in. So you take what you just trimmed off, place it over the screen frame, take your spline, and this needs to be washed, cleaned up really good. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll just show you what I'm doing. So you just put that in the track, take your tool and press it in place. And I use the concave, which is the scooped out wheel. That seems to work best for me. And just work it in the groove. And it'll take some doing with the aluminum wire, but you do it a little bit along until you get it in. One side at a time. And with a screen frame that's this small, typically you don't have to worry about clamping down one end of it, or two, or maybe even three ends. With a larger screen frame, it's a little more manageable if you will clamp down an end. But this one, as I said, is small enough that you don't have to do that. And getting that in place, and when you get it in the groove, you can go back, press it down even further. You can actually hear and feel when it seats or hits the bottom of that groove. And as I said, it's that spline that keeps the screen in place. So make sure it's in there really good. Alright, that's one end. And people have different preferences as to which side they do next or which side they start with. That's entirely up to you. I don't have any particular preference, just whatever works. And here's a situation where, I'm just gonna go sort of in a counterclockwise rotation. So again, get it started in one corner and just work your way down. It's not a difficult process. None of these projects that I'm showing you are all that difficult. But in my experience, people don't know how to do them. And if they know conceptually or procedurally how to do them, actually doing them and making them look the way they should is an entirely different matter. That's just paying attention to detail and practice. Obviously practice, repetition makes all the difference. Once you know what to do, there's a way of doing everything. As I say, there's a right way and a wrong way to sweep the floor. And I am particularly fond of talking about people that paint, your average DIYer. Anybody that can hold a paintbrush and move it up and down or sideways is not a painter. And again, I'm not criticizing at all. I'm just saying that there's a right way and a wrong way, and you actually have to have a little experience before it looks halfway decent. And I will tell you, I would never have this experience written for rental properties. Rental properties will give you a fairly diverse skill set, because you can't possibly pay service providers in all the different areas for the work that rental properties need. So you basically learn very quickly or slowly, depending on how many properties you have. So yeah, this is a particular process that I learned in really the first house that I rehabbed, or was part of rehabbing. And we reglazed every window in that house and rescreened all the screens. Again, it was an older house. And there's trial and error involved, big time. But certainly, it's better to learn how to do it. And yeah, you can carry it down to a local hardware store, and they'll be glad to rescreen them for you. I don't know what they charge now. Like I said, it's been so long since I've done anything like that. But if it's like everything else, it'll be fairly expensive. And so my view is go ahead and learn how to do it. Save the cost of the labor. You can buy the supplies. While supplies are expensive enough, certainly it's going to be cheaper for you to do it than for you to pay someone else to do it. And again, it's been my experience, you can pay someone else to do what you need, but I can tell you sometimes, in fact, it's not just sometimes, quite often I end up going behind whoever I paid to do something simply because I didn't have time to do it, and I had to redo it or touch it up. So there's a situation where you pay someone good money, and then you end up going back and either redoing it or spending time touching it up. And when you think about that, what does that mean? That means that you have paid someone to do something that you're having to redo. So you sort of defeated the purpose of hiring to get it done. To begin with, you're going to have to redo it or spend time touching it up. So when I pay someone to do something these days, it's because I absolutely don't have the time to do it, or I don't have the skill set. And at this point, basically the skill set that I don't have deals with HVAC. But everything else, as I said, rental properties will help you to acquire a skill set. Okay, I will tell you that this is a little slower process for the aluminum screen than it is for the fiberglass. That is another reason why I prefer fiberglass. But the main reason I prefer it is you don't get as neat a job sometimes with the aluminum as you do with fiberglass. So what I'm doing is cutting a little extra spline off, because I stretched it out pretty well there. Okay, so 3 sides done. Here is number 4. So again, start on the corner, get it seated. And we're just about finished with it. And I'll show you the finished product in a second. But there's no reason why anybody can't do this. I mean, it's just a matter of getting a few simple tools, get good quality tools to work with this kind of thing. For example, these wood spline rollers are far better than those plastic ones. The plastic obviously are cheaper, and you may say, well, I only have a screen or 2 to do, I'm not gonna pay the extra money for the wood roller, but believe me, it's much more sturdy, and you don't know whether you're gonna have just 1 or 2 to do or not. Chances are, if you do have 1 or 2, it'll be a matter of time before you've got 3 or 4. So, okay, getting down to the end here. Sit that in good. Again, cut off the spline here because I'm stretching it pretty tightly. Push that down, seat it. Alright, so we've got all 4 sides. And you can see that's what it looks like. So it's a simple process now. You just take your carpet knife, start in one corner on the inside lip and run along the top of that spline. Being careful not to cut you, not to cut the spline. You don't have to be a speed demon about it. Come on in, do the same thing. On the second side, turn it around. Side number 3. And the last side. Missed any, cutting any, you won't be able to get it out. So there's a couple right there I missed. Just go over it. There's a couple. Alright, throw away the excess. There you have it. Tightly stretched, fresh, clean, crisp looking, ready to go back in that storm window. Again, simple process, as I said. You need very, very minimal tools. You don't even need this tape measure. It's just to make sure that you have the right size roll of screen wire. As I said, this is aluminum screening. I prefer the fiberglass. It comes in different shades, black, graphite gray. This is aluminum. So, you know, whatever you like, whatever you have on your house, whatever your preference is. So it's a good time to clean up everything, but yeah, that looks much, much better than the old one. Okay, hope you learned a few things there, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.